Young Sav, aka Savvy Davis Jr. The way I, came through the music industry was, I started an internship, at a record label called TVT Records. You know what I mean? And I was there for 6 months, and I was working for a guy by the name of Theo Brown. You know what I mean? And during that tenure that I was there, he received a job offer from Def Jam, and he went to Def Jam, and he asked me if I wanted to come along with him. And I was like, Def Jam? Of course, because anybody that does what we do, your dream is to be at a place like Def Jam Records. You know what I mean? Being from the house that Russell built, so I was eager to go. And came over to Def Jam, and I just started grinding, started trying to get my name up, started trying to, meet people and learn the business. And then, I ran into Steve, and we created a friendship, and we just started moving from there.
And then me, myself, I was, always doing little local parties here and there. And then finally I ended up landing an internship at Star Trek Entertainment, which is Pharrell's label. And I was there for a couple months. Worked there for a little while, and then from there, again, I had met Sav and Theo in passing, and Theo was like, yo, do you want to come over to Def Jam? I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. And then got there, and so the story started. We just met this one time, and we just said, yo, man, what are you doing? He's like, yo, he told me all the stuff he was doing, and then he was like, yo, what you doing? I told him all the stuff I was doing. He's like, yo, what's funny? We're exactly the same person, just in different shoes. So he's like, yo, you know what, let's stick together. And then we just formed a camaraderie, and we just started rocking out. We started doing mad stuff and started trying to be creative with anything that we did. And, with the new artists that were getting signed and some of the established acts that was there, Jay had just became president. So it was a time in hip hop and in, the evolution of the business where it's just like being creative was a thing to do. And we just took advantage of it. And that's what really made us really tight.
Yeah, like Steve said, we just started rocking together. Just thinking back to that time, we were in a one room, both on the phones, banging out, calling people, calling DJs, calling anybody that we could, that would listen to us, and we were just starting creating relationships, and just to evolve to the point that we're at now. Not to say that we're the biggest things in the game, but evolution is crazy, and we just happy to be where we're at right now. But it's been a long road, and we still got a long way to go. So we're moving. It was an experience, man. Just to walk upstairs, walk by Jay's office, man, and see him in there going in, and him just recognizing us, for what we did, because it's plenty of stories that we gotta just work with Jay. Steve could tell you one of the first stories when we helped create the Blue Magic trailer. It was a crazy day that we went through, but it was definitely exciting, and Jay definitely showed us love when he saw us, man, and still, even to this day, he shot, when he sees us, he shouts us out.
Monster, blame Oliver North and I ran contraband that they sponsored.
Festival for Officers started as just a little in-office idea that me and Sav had. We were just one day figuring out what can we do to kind of, keep up with the evolution of the internet and the evolution of, just marketing, promotion, and try to launch artists from a certain platform. So we had this idea to say, hey, let's take all of our radio singles, they're called priorities in the record companies, all of our singles that are in our building from our most popular artists, and we'll go to another label and we'll look at all their radio singles and their priorities, and then we'll match them up toe to toe on one CD and kind of make the public decide which label has the better records. At this time, Jay-Z, of course, was president, and 50 Cent was running around saying he was Curtis 50 Cent Interscope Jackson, whatever how you put it. So it was like he ran Interscope and Jay ran Def Jam. So we just came up with this collaborative idea to put those two on the cover up against each other, and then put the music up against each other. And we put it out. We didn't think anything of it. We just say we're gonna put out a couple copies, and it blew. When we first started our website, when we did Def Jam versus Interscope, and then we did Atlantic versus Universal. And
that cover had Lil Wayne and T.I. on it
had
at
Lil
the
Wayne.
time.
It was called our King of the South edition.
Yeah.
This is the rise of T.I., the rise of Wayne. So at this point, you know, we knew the power of the internet because once we did our website and we kind of put a poll to pick which side you like the most, it got so viral, it reached all the way back to the record companies, to where record companies were sending emails like, yo, please go to this site and vote for us because we need our artists to win this. And it just became that staple in the streets where people felt like, yo, I need to win this popularity contest at this website in order for our artists and our records to kind of reign supreme over whatever we pit them against. So that's when we kind of had an inkling that this internet thing was crazy because it reached places and people who we would have never even imagined. Like people on the street down to the bodegas, to the little mom and pop shops were calling us, to the label lawyers and DJs and artists and everybody's like, how can I get on this mixtape? And when you doing another one? And we got offered, you know, distribution contracts for it. It was just so crazy, and that's when we realized how big the internet was because we started it in a viral space.
Yeah. I mean, we was definitely there during that time, like where, you know, we pulled a camera out in front of his face and said, yo, talk about the album. Yo, talk about what just happened. Yo, talk about this, talk about that. And we would just upload it. We would just upload it and just put it up. You know what I mean?
More notably, when this guy right here told him, take off your shirt on camera. Now that's one thing I like to take pride in.
It's shock value. It's all about shock value on the internet. You know what I mean? Like the whole taking your shirt off on the internet for somebody like Ross is, you don't expect a guy his size to just be comfortable inside his skin, but he is. And you know what I mean? That's dope. You know what I mean?